Thank you, Veronica. Assalamu alaikum. It's my pleasure to join you today with my friend and solution architect, Mohammed Haggag, to present KSA localization, KSA compliance, with the cooperation with Frappe for ZATCA in Saudi Arabia. Actually, in the beginning, we started this application to focus on phase 2, ZATCA phase 2. However, and based on the feedback that we got, alhamdulillah, from the first webinar, we decided with Frappe team to include phase 1 as well. And it will be included, inshallah, in the same date that we announced it for the going live of the app. And we'll get back to this point again. Today, we will talk about Frappe, LavaLoon, and the KSA Compliance App, just an overview. And it's important to share with you the roadmap of the app as well, and some insights and overview on ZATCA regulations in Saudi Arabia. And for sure, most welcome for all questions and suggestions. About Frappe. In the community, actually, Frappe is a big community and it's growing. However, most of the people not focusing on the ERPNext. When they are talking about Frappe, mainly focusing on ERPNext. However, it's important to know that Frappe is much more than ERPNext. It has big dimensions in terms of the vertical growth, in terms of the products, solutions like what we see here, ERPNext, help desk, CRM, LMS, etc. And horizontally, in terms of the business domain, the business models, and we will see this together as a list in the next slide, inshallah. On the left side, the figures show the big growth of Frappe and its community partners that we had the honor to join them. And actually, moving to Frappe and ERPNext as one of the products, it was a strategic decision we took in LavaLoon almost since we began the company. And alhamdulillah, so far, I do believe that it's on the right track. We compare between Frappe and ERPNext in general and other, let's say, competitors or similar communities and solutions in the market. And we took our decision based on the growth, the learning curve and the growth. And we do believe that we are still on the right track. And this the session of today, I do believe it's a proof of this. As I said, ERPNext is one of the important products of Frappe, and it covers different business lines, business domains, manufacturing, distribution, retail, etc. And it's important, it's 100% free as a standard ERP. I have to mention the big diversity that covered by Frappe and ERPNext, and one of the strategic objectives of Frappe to get ERPNext certified in Saudi Arabia, and that's done, already done. And the ERPNext is the digital government authority in Saudi Arabia, already certified. Moreover, there is some regulations and obligations in Saudi Arabia to have the solution hosted in Saudi Arabia itself. And as you see here, Frappe Cloud covers different regions, areas. And on top of them here now in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the hosting of Frappe is located there. So it's compliant with the regulations and the policy in many governmental authorities and customers in Saudi Arabia. About LavaLoon. Simply, LavaLoon if you would like to say one word summarizing LavaLoon, we would say integration. In the beginning, we started LavaLoon to focus on the integration, the middleware, and then by time we added different solution components. As you see here on the top, there's different business models. We need to serve the business models, the customers from two angles, from two aspects, technical and business, utilizing our business background in different industries and utilizing our technical capabilities, alhamdulillah. So some examples, retail, construction, optics, automotive, etc. That's different business domains. In the same time, you need different modules. Vertically, you need different modules like HR, accounting, etc. So what we are doing here, we are using ERPNext and Frappe framework as a standard ERP, plus some customization we add based on the business needs. And then through the middleware, we, which is called LavaHub, we connect with different solution components, either internal, like LavaLoon, our mobile app, or the customer mobile app that we develop, or even with the customer mobile app or portal that's already another vendor developed, okay? Plus the integration with external parties or any service, like other ERP, other payment gateway, SMS gateway, shipment company, etc. So that is the model. We are trying our best to provide integrated business model. And today is an example. KSA Compliance is an example of an integration application with ZATCA. In this slide, we just present some samples of our mobile application LavaLoon. Actually, it's apart from ZATCA or KSA Compliance, but just to give a brief about LavaLoon itself and the look and feel of the product. It has some sub-modules integrated with ERPNext through our middleware. Here, we have the honor to be the vendor of the software solution entirely for Tanaqqul service in the Holy Mosque in Saudi Arabia. Almost now 4 years, I believe. This on the left side, these photos from the operation on the ground, electrical vehicles in Haram, okay? And on the right side here is a sample of our point of sale running on the point of sale device there. In addition, the web portal, the Tanaqqul mobile app, integration with Notebook, and I already mentioned the point of sale. All of this integrated through the middleware, integrated with ERPNext at the back end. Now it's about KSA compliance and overview. Okay, the important question now to any customer, any partner, what do you need to be compliant with ZATCA? Okay, phase 2. The first step, create your site on Frappe Cloud. Okay, and in the next couple of minutes, we will see together a recorded video of how to create a bench and site and configure the site on Frappe Cloud using ERPNext version 15 and KSA compliance as well. I do believe that many of you, most of you, already has good experience in this, and this is the video. You are going to log in using your credential on Frappe Cloud, create the bench, getting the application, and select for sure the region to be in Saudi Arabia, and enter your subdomain. I see here there is a question, but please, if you don't mind, we will continue the presentation, and I appreciate writing down all the questions, because in the next screen, next slides, we may ask some of them, and then we will have a time for the questions, inshallah. Okay, as you see here, you're already proceeding in the steps of the creating the site and the deployment steps. Okay. Now it's the time to configure the site that you just created, like any ERPNext and Frappe site you already create, even locally, the same steps exactly. And by the way, it's important here, what if I already have ERPNext installed on-prem or any other server, other cloud? Frappe Cloud provides a good way to migrate from your existing site, existing instance, to Frappe Cloud. We didn't show it in this presentation. However, it's available, and you can get back to the documentation of Frappe to support this. Here, just the normal steps of configuration. That's it. That is the standard look and feel of the ERPNext. Okay. So that is the first step. Next step, activate your account on Fatura platform. Okay. For sure, you have an account. I'm talking about a customer. You have an account, you have a credential. So you are going to use your credential on Fatura platform. Okay. Starting the onboarding of the new solution there. Okay. Getting OTP, SMS, OTP, one-time password, capture. Okay. Here, one of the onboarding process, you can advise, or you can configure that you are going to add as many times you want of devices. You can say 3, 4, or even 1. So you will get number of OTPs based on the number that you configured already to complete the set of onboarding. That's done of the onboarding. Now that is the last step, just 5 minutes to complete the registration process, okay, of ZATCA on ERPNext. Our colleague Omar will help us here in this step. Omar, please. That is the normal step. We tried our best in the integration here, in the configuration or the onboarding to make have a simple user interface, user experience to be simple as much as we can, to save a big time of the onboarding process. And we will get back to this point with Hagag to explain a little bit more here. So that is the details here. Okay. All the data that we are using here based on the configuration of your account as a customer with ZATCA. So all the past fields, nothing much technical here. And as you see, most of the data, especially as a seller, you are using some data already in ERPNext settings in different areas on the ERP. So we are just getting the data and do auto fetch on the screen to simplify using it. Okay. As you see, it's just test OTP done successfully. That is the onboarding layer. Perform the compliance checkups. Reload. I guess. Please reload. Okay, that is the response from the test. That is a simplified invoice, credit note, debit note, all reported. And as you know, reported means it's already posted to them. Now getting the production SysID. It's done again. As you see here, we tried our best to make it like a wizard to complete the entire process. Okay, now moving to the sales invoice. That is the standard sales invoice of ERPNext. We picked it as a simplified customer. That is the demo customer that we are testing with. Done as a submission. What is the logic behind it? Once you submit the invoice on ERPNext, automatically, if you are using the live mode, it will post the invoice to ZATCA. And we are supporting live mode and batch mode as well. Okay, that is the additional bit as you see. What we did here, we tried even to make it clear enough for anybody using this app to have all the needed fields, additional fields of ZATCA in case of audit or doing the troubleshooting review. You will have all the data on this additional fields document. Okay, and then the integration log. That is the status and of the dot type itself, and the ZATCA status reported, and the ZATCA message. Okay, done. Thank you, Omar. Okay. I'm trying to find the icon. Okay, so now, when you do this onboarding and begin to post invoices to ZATCA, you need to check up. Okay, that is the solution already added. So on Fatura platform itself, you can check the onboarded devices and solution there, as you see here on the screen, and the invoices itself. That is statistics about it. How many rejected? How many accepted? as you see here in the dashboard on the platform. And on the other hand, on the app itself, we are trying to add our own dashboard and report to make it easier to you to check from your side from ERPNext. However, it's important, at least in the beginning, to verify from the two sides. Now, regarding the KSA Compliance App features, sorry for this bar. First, it's about VAT summary, okay, and details that I already mentioned reports. Supporting simulation, supporting different tax tolerance, supporting saving in QR code and XML. And here, I'd like to ask again regarding this point, because we got many time questions regarding this point. As per ZATCA, we need to save the QR code and XML on the app itself, on the solution. How we are dealing with this?
We are basically using a wrapper for the ZATCA SDK, the Java SDK, to sign the invoice and validate them, generate the QRs and the signatures in the previous invoice and all that. So we get these responses and cache them all or store them on the sales invoice additional fields like this. We try not to customize and modify the sales invoice itself because it has too many fields, and customizations on that type tend to bypass the limit on the number of columns in the sales invoice table. So that's why we created everything in an additional fields table that is almost one-to-one mapped with the invoice itself. The QR code is available as base64 data that you can decode and view yourself. And we've also added a property or a virtual field that provides base64 data for a QR image in case you want to embed it in a print format or something, which is also something we're working on, and including in the app, a set of standard print formats that you can just automatically print with, and they're gonna, format your invoices in the way that ZATCA specifies.
Okay, thank you. And one of the things that we tried to improve in ZATCA or KSA Compliance App, and by the way, we would like to appreciate and thank all the Frappe partners already developed before some apps concerning the same matter of ZATCA app. However, in our application, we try to support multiple company, multiple instances that we already multiple company on the same instance, because most probably in Saudi Arabia, as you know, you have a holding company, and underneath there's many companies. So we support this structure. And regarding the simplified invoice, B2C already supported, and that's what we already implemented in Holy Mosque in Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah. We are working on the standard invoice to be supported as well. Okay. Coming to another question, we got some feedback so far. Yes, the going live is still mid of June. However, we began some feedback, and thanks for this. Regarding ZATCA CLI, it's a little bit challenging, and we need to ask Hagag here, what's our plan? How do you see we should deal with it now? And what's our plan for this?
Okay, so the ZATCA SDK basically provides a command line utility that can sign and validate invoices, except it produces output that is mainly targeted at humans, meaning it's just text-based output, and it's not easily parsable by machines. So what we did was write a small CLI wrapper around it. It's also open source. And this wrapper extracts the results out of the ZATCA SDK library and produces them in machine-readable format JSON, so that the Frappe app itself can read these results and parses them without any errors. Now, the prerequisite for the ZATCA SDK is that you have Java 11, and specifically nothing later than 11, because they use an elliptic curve for cryptography that has been discontinued past Java 11 as part of the standard Java runtime. You can use it from Bouncy Castle or other crypto libraries, but we're sticking with the SDK. So the prerequisite right now is that you need to have Java 11, and that's not necessarily easy to set up if you're in a container-based setup or something. What we're working on for the upcoming release is to make a self-contained CLI, which includes its own runtime, and the app will auto-install it with a click of a button as well as part of the onboarding, and then you can just run happily. We are also looking at other options in case you want to, install your own CLI wrapper or fork of it or something. We provide an option for people to specify where to download and run this CLI wrapper.
Exactly. And for the time being, for sure, we will align with Frappe Cloud team to make it easy for anybody who's going to use KSA Compliance App on Frappe Cloud. And the support for sure for the community, inshallah, will be available, inshallah, once it's go right. That's regarding this point of the CLI, but we got a lot of questions regarding this. And again, and apart from the KSA compliance open source solution, we added on top of this an integration with our own point of sale, LavaLoon point of sale, which we are using in Holy Mosque. How we deal with the offline transactions there, compliant with ZATCA as well, and the onboarding of the devices there in HAM.
So to be able to work offline, essentially each POS device has to become its own EGS, meaning an e-invoice generating system. And it has to do the onboarding itself so that it can have the private key and the certificates and everything necessary to generate its own invoices. And it keeps track of its own counter and previous invoice hash, which is needed for generating proper ZATCA invoices. And the way we did this is we added documents, which is in a sense a subtype or a subdocument of the ZATCA business settings, and it stores the settings specific to a given device. When these point of sale devices are, when you open POS, it checks whether it has the prerequisites for ZATCA. And if it doesn't, it redirects the user to a setup wizard. And this setup wizard basically walks you through the onboarding process where you enter the OTP and it generates the CSR and then makes the compliance checks and then generates the production CSID and then syncs with the server, letting it know that you completed the onboarding process and so that it can start actually working. We focused on making this process a wizard-like approach, similar to what we have on ERPNext, with some advanced, checks like in case of mobile, you can get interrupted at any time, or the user can close the app, so it's resolvable easily. You can stop at any step during the setup, and then when you open the app again, it's going to resume from the same part or step. We had to basically implement the signing logic and the validation logic in the mobile devices. They are Android devices, so it's also Java-based. And it's been a bit of a challenge because the ZATCA SDK does not run on Android devices, and it has a ton of dependencies that don't also run on Android devices. So we worked for a while to trim down the dependencies and basically include the minimum needed code to run it properly on Android.
Thank you. Okay. And I'll get back to this point of using the point of sale in the roadmap that we are doing and sharing with you, inshallah. That is the point of sale again, the look and feel, and that we are working with in Holy Mosque in Tanakul service offline. Okay, compliant with ZATCA requirements. Actually, it was one of the biggest challenges that we ever faced before, and we did it, alhamdulillah. As you see here, that is the onboarding process. That is the setup that we did, and we did it again in the wizard approach to make it easy for anybody using the point of sale device. As you see here. And all of this integrated with, again, ERPNext through our middle. Okay. We are talking about, so far, about 500,000 invoices posted to ZATCA, alhamdulillah, and I do believe it's more. Today, it should be updated, but alhamdulillah, we are exceeding this figure. The solution, the app, is totally open source, HBL certificate, license. So feel free to use it and I encourage all the partners and developers to review, to work on it. I do believe as a Frappe community, we will cooperate together to improve this app, inshallah, even with more in later stages, and in other apps, inshallah, as well. The going live of this application will be 16th June, inshallah, and it will be the first day of Eid al-Adha. But don't worry, we will be committed on this day, and it will be our pleasure to support you. The roadmap, getting back to the roadmap that I already mentioned. One of the points I'd like to start with is the point of sale. We implemented our own point of sale as a LavaLoon point of sale in Haram, in Mali Mosque. However, ERPNext has a good module, has a good feature of standard point of sale invoice. So my question again to Hagag, how we are planning, how we are studying this point.
All right, so for our own point of sale, what we did, essentially when you have a separate EGS or point of sale, it has to track its own counter and previous hash and generates the invoices because it might be offline. And at some point, it syncs this information to the server. So the way we went about this for Tanakul is that the device has generated the invoices, the XML, signed it and validated, and then eventually whenever it had an online connection, it would sync it to the server. And then the server would send it on behalf of the device, but just does the API call. It does not change anything in the generated XML because the device will do. And to support that, we added an option in the sales invoice additional fields, which is called a pre-computed invoice. A pre-computed invoice means that the ERPNext server, the instance itself, is not going to process it or generate XML or anything. It's just going to take whatever was already produced by the POS and send it to ZATCA. And we prefer to centralize the sending to ZATCA to the server itself so that we can have one place where we easily have the integration logs and error logs, if any. And that's so you can have also a central place for your dashboards. So the way we are studying and approaching the POS of ERPNext is the same thing. It's going to produce POS invoices, and these invoices need to be printed right away, without producing a sales invoice necessarily if you're working offline. And so they need to include the QR code and the hash and the counter and all that information. And then eventually they're going to sync with the server to create the actual sales invoices. So we're looking into augmenting this same process to also generate the pre-computed sales invoice additional fields so that they are automatically picked up and sent to ZATCA, whether it's through live mode or batches.
Yes. Yes, some feedbacks that still on this.
Okay, so I'm done. I can recap that or parts of it if people haven't,
Because it's really important.
Okay, so to summarize, we have separate POS devices working using our own POS right now. What we are studying is making the same process work for the standard ERPNext POS invoice. Meaning anything based on POS invoices, like if an app you're using produces POS invoices, it's going to work as well. Not necessarily the ERPNext POS. And the way we are going about this is we are going to augment the same process for POS invoices so that it can also generate pre-computed sales invoice additional fields documents. The sales invoice additional fields document is our main addition in this application, and it stores the XML that is generated from the invoice, as well as the QR code, the hash, the previous hash, and the counter, and also the ZATCA integration status. So once we implement this step of sync update to produce these sales invoice additional fields, basically the rest of the cycle will pick up automatically because we already have the two modes, the live sync mode and the batches mode. In the live sync mode, whenever you create the sales invoice additional fields document and set its status as ready for submission or batch, it automatically queues right after this commit or this transaction, it queues a job to post this sales invoice additional fields document to ZATCA, meaning take the XML and post it through the API, whether it's the reporting API for simplified invoices or the clearance one for the standard invoices. Now, if you're in batch mode, the sales invoice additional field will remain as a draft until it's checked It's picked by an hourly running job that basically runs every hour for 50 minutes or 58 minutes, something like that, and it looks at any unsubmitted invoices and sends them to ZATCA, creates the logs for them, and submits them if they are successfully accepted by ZATCA.
Okay. Thank you, Javier, again. One last question is regarding this matter of the roadmap and how we are going to support the community. How we are going to do this? What's your recommendation to the developers and partners regarding this matter?
So right now we are focused on the upcoming release, making sure that we cover all bases and things work out properly for people in a seamless experience as much as possible. So we don't have much written right now in terms of guidelines, but post launch after the 16th. We plan to update the community, the repository with contribution guidelines, with more documentation, with issue templates, things of the like. For now, developers can check out the code, try to run the application on the sandbox, check the flow, check which documents are created and how the different cases are.
Thank you. And as a list of initial roadmap features, that's what we have here working on this. And for sure, I do believe that with the Frappe community, with the partner developers, we will update this list. And we are expecting even a big part of you to contribute in this, inshallah. Let's have an overview about ZATCA compliance regulations. Okay. The e-invoicing, the tax invoice, simplified tax invoice, that's the categorization. Simply, this one, as for sure all of you know well, that it was focusing on some print format, some data attributes to be placed on the sales invoice, and the QR code as well. That's it. It's a very basic and simple. Phase 2, it has more requirements, more direct integration with ZATCA APIs, and much security in this. And as per ZATCA, there is a classification of the customers or the organizations to be compliant as a deadline for each one, and it categorized or classified in terms of waves. That is the wave of ZATCA along with the deadline. So if we have here customers, they must pay attention to the deadlines. The deadlines mainly based on the size of sorry. We get a feedback that the connection is not much stable. So can you hear us well now? Okay, fine. Thank you. Again, I was talking about the deadline. So each organization, each company must take care of the deadline of its classified wave.
Is this sound clear to you all? Come near to the laptop, it would be better. If you can come near to the laptop, it would be slightly better.
Okay. Is it better now, Veronica?
Yes, this is better.
Okay, thank you. So that is the deadline of the waves, and it's already located on the portal of ZATCA. Okay. Now it's time to questions, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and please share your questions. Let's check out. I see a lot of questions here.
Okay, do we have any questions?
Okay, we have.
I have
I see there is a question now.
Yeah, I have given access to everybody for an audio, so you can unmute yourself and yeah.
Okay. So I see here, Veronica, I see a written question. I'll start with this question, please.
Yes, please.
The question regarding to use e-invoice, okay, on the current system of ERPNext, is it a must to move to Frappe Cloud? Okay, I will not say a must, but I'd say we recommend, as a LavaLoon, we recommend this because for us in LavaLoon, it saved a lot of time and effort for in terms of DevOps generally for the deployment and even the standard bug fix. So that's our advice. However, technically, the application is there. It's open source. You can get it. You can install it on your own server. So technically, no constraint on this. And even from a license perspective. Okay, I answered this question. So please feel free to share your questions. More questions, please.
Great, great. So do we have any other question?
Doesn't need to.
So,
Okay.
so you guys are clear about the KSA localization and how you can install them in your current ERP systems, correct? This over here. Raise your hand. So do you have any question? Okay.
I believe that Muhammad Abdullah gives hand.
Yes.
Yes, please, Muhammad.
Muhammad Abdullah and Muhammad
Yes, I have a question.
Ibrahim, they have their hands raised. So do you guys have any question? Yes, please. Please ask.
Hi, this is Hassan from ProBuild. We are in the phase of hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, we are in the phase of incorporating ERPNext solution to our group of companies. So this integration is the VAT compliant integration. How it works and for our understanding, the service provider implementing partner is outside the country. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but could you raise your voice a little bit, please?
So you want me to repeat again?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah. We are in the phase of implementing ERPNext. Sorry. Hi. Yeah. We are the phase of implementing ERPNext solution to our group of companies. But the implementing partner is outside the country, like not from South Africa. In this case, how they are going to integrate this ZATCA compliant invoicing solution to this ERPNext software. This is open source, and but they have registered implementing partner. So in this case, we have to connect to this service partner, or how it happens in the Saudi market with this different implementing partners. Do you understand what?
Okay. Okay, I got the question, but I'm not sure you are asking about how the implementation will be done on the ground. That's your question?
Okay, so the first thing. Yes. So the first thing, explain this Khalid to him. Okay, so the first thing is, Muhammad, over here, when you have an unregistered partner from Frappe, you can let me know who that partner is, or you can let the partner know that if you are good enough, then work with the OEM team. Now, when you are working with OEM team, I'm going to get them connected with LavaLoon. So LavaLoon is going to provide you the program. LavaLoon is going to give you the KSA compliance. LavaLoon is going to give you the support, but the remaining implementation can be done by the same partner. I hope I'm clearing your question. So the thing is,
because I'm not a technical guy. So
so
if there's
for
something,
the assurity of yours, for the I think we can take this later on. I'm dropping you my email, so you can email me. You can drop me an email. We can have a call.
Sure, please.
Okay, next
So I
question,
have
please.
dropped my
I see
email in chat box. Yes.
Ahmad Ibrahim raised the hand. Ahmad, please.
We have Abdul as well. Abdul Rahman Muhammad. He have raised his hand. Abdul.
Okay, please.
Hi Priyanka, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I guess you know me.
Okay.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum to all. I just have a question. I have like 4 companies ready to be integrated. So how it's gonna be? It's gonna be through the partner, or we can we can do it by our own self.
So see, partner is going to provide you with the support. Application
Okay.
and the integrations are readily available on GitHub, as well as it would be available on Frappe Cloud Marketplace as well. You can install to use it, but if you want support on the application, that would be given by the partner.
Okay. So if I have my team working on ERPNext. So if they can do it themselves, or we need to connect to your specific partner, or we can do it by ourselves. That's my question.
Yeah, so you have to connect with LavaLoon because they are the one who have developed the code for KSA localization. So you can work with them if you have any concern. Otherwise, they also have their wiki or documentation ready as well. So I'll be sharing the documentation after the call ends to everyone. I'll be sharing their GitHub link, the documentation, and the recording of today. So all these details you will get. If your team is able to get these things installed in like one question, is it on Frappe Cloud? Are your 4 entities on Frappe Cloud or they're not on Frappe Cloud?
It's all on the Frappe Cloud.
Then deployment would be very easy. Like just wait for some time, or maybe you can start with the GitHub link. But soon there would be just like the way you are installing ERPNext, you will be able to install KSA localization after ERPNext itself. So it would be in the list of applications itself.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, so the wiki would be ready. Most of the things would be ready. In case you require some customization or in case you require some support, then you can get in touch with LavaLoon.
Okay, okay. I'll drop my email, or also I'll share you my email, Priyanka, so we can get in touch for more details for that.
Yes, I have my email written already in the chat box. You can let me know.
Sure, Priyanka. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Do we have? Yes. Okay, so we have Ahmad Ibrahim. I think he's not Muhammad Abdullah. He's still here. Muhammad, do you have any question? Muhammad Abdullah, you there with us? Yes, Muhammad, tell me. Muhammad, you can unmute yourself and let us know about it. Let us know about your question.
Yeah,
If there's a problem,
I think
I
you
can
have
write it down.
shared your email ID, so I will drop a message. Then we can go forward.
Okay, sure, Muhammad. Any other question? Anyone else? Okay, then maybe we can end this call. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, Khalid. Thank you, Muhammad, and thank you, Omar, as well, to join us in and give us a great session. If you have anybody, any of our audience, if you have any feedback for us, please drop us an email. Please let us you want something more from us, if you, as well as if you want something from LavaLoon as well, let us know. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Khalid, do you want to
Thank
close?
you. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Salam alaikum.
Sure. Have a nice day. Ma salama.